Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Overcome to you. Some more Company of Heroes 2 1v1 action. Today we have Luciano down here playing the OKW. This is Faymonville Approach. What's he bringing in? Of course he's got Scavenge. Of course he's got Special Operations. And of course he's got Elite Armor Doctrine. You know, people complain about that Storm Tiga being OP, but at the same time that thing is stupidly slow and has a Death Star shot. So if you miss, you're waiting for a very long time before those batteries get recharged. His opponent up here playing as the USF is S&P VDV, Hello from Sky. I'm just going to call him Sky, I think, today. He's bringing along Heavy Cav Company, of course, with that Pershing. He's bringing Tac Support, of course, with that Calliope. And he's got Armor Company, of course, with the N10 and the 105 Shermans. We just had ourselves a 105 Sherman play about last week, if memory serves. It's a pretty fun game, actually. Don't tend to see too many spam of that out, but it was kind of interesting to see that happen. In the meantime, though, we are going to see Storm Pioneers and the rear echelons are going to find themselves in a little bit of a wet noodle contest. As the Storm Pioneers pick up this fuel point, well, that's not happening so easily under fire from these... Oh, they're M1A1s, aren't they? I believe they are. I haven't really seen it recently, so I'll have to take, when those guys get out of the garrison, I'll take a quick look there. Riflemen, though, going to push back these Volksgrenadiers. Those guys are definitely carrying Garands almost to a man here. Yes, they are. There they are. So the beautiful M1 Garands. I love this game. The level of detail on it is just so perfect. It's fantastic. We are going to see Storm Pioneers going to see their fuel slowly being taken away. And they're in negative cover right now, so they're sliding over, getting some good cover instead. Should do pretty well against these riflemen, I would hope. Nope, never mind, not going to happen. Supported by the rear echelons. The Storm Pioneers are taking some really heavy fire. Doing some great HP damage, but not able to successfully push back the riflemen on their own. Indeed, we have Volksgrenadiers coming in to back them up, and those guys are even going to back up instead as well, too. On the plus side, the Americans have not picked up their own fuel. You can see they're taking the strap point, but not the fuel point over here to the southwest. And the Volksgrenadiers just continue to hop in and out, trying to pick up this middle VP, and it's not going well for them. However, with the Americans focusing so much in the north, we'll see Kubelwagen will pick up fuel to the south, unmolested more or less. But we'll see Rifleman Squad slide down there in an attempt to push them back. Of course, it might not even be necessary. Luciano is going to find his entire resource situation cut off. And the Americans are getting a good bit of fuel out of this. I was not expecting to see these rear echelons being such a good breakwater, but, you know, I guess when you're firing anything at opponents outside the building, it's probably a pretty good opportunity for you, isn't it? Western side, we are going to see that Kubelwagen has taken the fuel point, but since it's out of supply, Germany's getting no usage out of it immediately. And indeed, we will see the rifleman will decap just a teensy bit faster than any other support can get to him. Not going to get pushed back in time. But if the Americans do manage to get a double fuel out of this, that could set them up very well for the later part of this game. Indeed, never mind, they're going to get pushed back before that does happen. Riflemen that were hanging out right here apparently pushed too far forwards and ran afoul, I would assume, of this flak cannon. Those things are quite terrifying. So now it's the Germans' turn to threaten to bring in a double fuel. They have the northern one. They can get the southern one pretty quickly. Of course, might lose that a few seconds after they even take it. But as long as this Kubelwagen doesn't get hit by an anti-tank rifle grenade, he's going to be okay. And indeed, we have Volksgrenadiers coming in to push him back, support the Kubelwagen in his time of need as the first SWS for the Germans hits the field. Rear echelon's not still moving, and kind of curious to me, we haven't seen any U.S. forces come up from the munitions point or even this VP either. So interesting decision there. Reinforced steel barricades, i.e., you know, barbed wire, has gone down now against the stone wall. Going to make it easier for the Germans to keep the Americans at arm's length should they penetrate deep into this territory here. It's probably a lucky thing. Probably a very lucky thing, all things considered, since the Germans suffer very early on against American infantry. You can see right now, lieutenants now hit the field in the meantime, and the Americans are pushing back to take the northern fuel away from the US of A. But until, of course, and I'm sure you guys have known this, it's been 155, 150 games so far on this channel alone, let alone all the stuff you guys have seen. The early Germans don't trade particularly well, especially at close distance, unless, of course, you have stuff. Wow. Incendiary grenade coax the last 2 riflemen out of there, so never mind. Okay. BAR carving a bloody path through those Sturm Pioneers, but Rifleman Squad did go down for the Americans, so first blood to the Germans. And indeed, now with the battle group headquarters coming out, we will see medics. It's a good call right there. And the Americans will take this position away from the Germans yet again, cutting them off from all the delicious, delicious fuel. And Sturm Pioneers actually did go down, didn't they? Wow. So last guy died right here, leaving an STG to be picked up, or perhaps just pointing magnetic north. Maybe he thinks he's a Bren gun. I don't know. It could be any one of those things. Sky, in the meantime, is going to build himself as an M8, M20. I can never remember which appellation it is. It is an M20. So just the 50 cal on top of it. M8, I guess, has that cannon as well. And 6 minutes in, the Americans are down 50 tickets, and they are finally picking up this northern munitions point. They will be looking to take their own fuel back, their expansion fuel, and the Germans are looking to take their own expansion back as well. So looking to see maybe if we're going to see a resumption of a more kind of moderate game stance. I could not say for sure. Worth noting in the meantime, the Germans have not pushed at all to pick up this strategic point, which is kind of curious considering that the machine gun posts for the Americans are in pretty terrible positions. Yes, they have this road locked down, but this is wide open. It could be cutting off the Americans from so much material so easily. So easily. Another squad of Sturm Pioneers coming in, though the Kubelwagen has been completely and totally forced back to sit in base until he can get some TLC from some engineering kind of blokes. And the Americans are looking to take full advantage of that. Regardless of the fact that he's got this whole battle group headquarters in, he can't afford to build a flak half-track. M20 came out and immediately got hit by a Faust, it looks like. So, well done there. Deflection galore. And that 2-to-1 cap for the Germans, well, it looks like it might be a 2-to-1 cap in favor of the Americans, and that's probably a good idea as well. You don't want to go down too much in the early game. Heck, ooh, might even be a trip cap. Rifleman picking up the Southern VP in addition. So that's as well. Pretty darn good. Alright. Taking a quick look at bulletins. Of course, we have just infantry buffing. ISGs, actually, ooh, that's actually pretty good. So support gun barrage, so his normal just kind of firing comes out super, super quickly. It's taking only 3/4 the amount of time it would take normally, and of course the last one's going to be cooldown and reloading faster. Now, in the meantime, Kubelwagen will charge on forwards, but the Riflemen give a short little rush, and that will inspire the Kubelwagen to back away. But it has given the Americans time to pick up that needed trip cap. And it's also time for them to allow them that's brought in a 50 cal machine gun. If that 50 cal gets in right here, the OKW is going to be difficult. It's going to be super difficult for them to actually push that away. And with the way munitions have been starved for the Germans, basically because this point right here, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to get any sort of incendiary grenades, things like that. He could be pretty close-ish, I would suggest, to the ISG. Another 30 seconds or so. We want to the south. Volk's going to do is to hop back into this building and should be able to keep these guys at bay for the time being. Unfortunately, these M1 Garands at close range, I don't know why you can only get one dude out a window, but you can pour as much fire as you want to into the building. But that's going to heavily hamper the Germans. What was this? Okay, oh, AT gun. Okay, so the Volks... No. But Cat Pfeffer came up and got a good wallop into that M20. And Luciano's incendiary grenade is still getting cooled down. Where did he throw the last grenade? Not into this house, did he? No, not enough damage has been done. Well, we will see Riflemen dive in there now. Just like we will see Germans down to the south trying to push back and retake some other fuel to at least limit the amount of resources the Americans are getting. And yep, there's the captain actually going to be hitting the field pretty darn soon. And the 50 cal just doing work. He hasn't quite been able to suppress the Sturm Pioneers just yet. But okay, so we're tanking and spanking here, so we can see this incendiary grenade coming on in. Guessing they're just in time. The Americans are going to back off, but going to find out it's probably better for them just to retreat the entire distance, and there they go. Ambo coming out just after the captain hits the field. It's a good decision there. Germans are down about 50 tickets. Very much a rough and tumble game here. Once again, that Rakettenwerfer doing exactly what it needs to do. If it could cheat forwards a little bit more, maybe even get a surprise flank over here looking to the west, it would be even better. Not happening yet, though. We will see these rear echelons thrown into the mix just, as the uncaring masters force them to probably run in right over here. Oh, never mind, there they go. I thought they were going to get thrown into this VP. But luckily enough for them, that did not happen. Rifleman, in the meantime, going to try to trade effectively against STG Sturmpyos, and that does not work well either. Those guys are in excellent cover. The Americans not quite able to use the fire point as well as they had hoped. So while I had gone and lamented about the German position a few minutes ago, first of all, now we have the Rakettenwerfer up way further to the north. So excellent right there. And we're seeing now the Germans threaten to decap the last position away from the Americans. And despite a Zook-armed captain, he should be able, the German is Luciano, should be able to keep his position and get a trip cap under his control. Now, what will not happen is will not be a long trip cap. Indeed, we will see that the fuel has already fallen back. The expansion fuel for the Americans has fallen back into their control. And luckily enough for the Americans, this mine right here gets found out just in time. Alrighty, you're going to see Armor Company coming out from skies. Look for those M10s a little bit later, guys. And it went kind of amusing to me to see a shot hit this as the mine was trying to get defused. Indeed, in the meantime, we will see that the 50 cal realizes it's probably a better idea to back up. And even though he does, he gets hit by a very, very lucky shot. Well, unlucky, depending on how you look at it. 367 to 400. The Americans are trying to get their own trip cap back again. And this 50 cal is just barely out of range. That's unlucky right there. What the heck was he aiming at? But although the rear echelons might be able to take the center VP, they're not going to hold it for long, I don't think. With the Sturm Pioneers coming, kind of hold this position. Yep, okay, so they took it. They're going to back off. Alright, alrighty. These guys are going to start unloading any second, I imagine. And weapon racks have been unlocked in favor of the Americans, so look for BARs to start popping out in all those rifleman squads. It's going to be very, very difficult for the Germans to hold the line then. Sturmpyos get suppressed and then pinned by this 50 cal team. But all it takes is one lucky hit, and that will be more than enough. Okay, they get away just in time. That's good, because that last shot might have been enough to take him out. Meanwhile, in the north, we will see rifleman squads trading fairly effectively against the Germans, although a second squad of Volksgrenadiers will be able to, I think, hold a line potentially, while the northern one gets shot to pieces. Question is, will he retreat in time? Sources don't look good. There he goes. He's off to the races, but still may not make it out alive. What we have instead now is another 2-to-1 against another Volksgrenadier squad, but at least these guys are firing. And now with a 1-to-1 with STGs on top of there, he could be okay. As you guys have seen, the tooltip just popped up. We will see a Schwerpanzer headquarters has popped up just outside, or actually still really in the German base area. Kind of a weird positioning for it. I would at least put it right behind these trees right here. Yes, the gun will allow it to cover this particular crossroads and this particular crossroads here, but considering how often the Americans have taken the German fuel supply position, I would think it'd be better to be further forward and cover this completely. Luciano feels differently, though. And it just seems that neither player is really able to hold consistently on any portion of the map, which is a brilliant, brilliant thing for the kind of just to scream about the tactical ability of this game. But it's kind of poor for either player in their kind of immediate hopes for, how do I put this, supply situation? No, not even correct there either. It's a foot race into the house. Germans will win just for the moment, and they might want to back up just as quickly as BARs now surround the house. And they're going to bring it down pretty quickly, unless they can get some fire support. There's one right there taking out a couple of models, but even still, Rifleman will probably take out at least one model and retreat. There's one, and will not pick up the other one, luckily enough. M10 has hit the field, though, so the Americans do have the first kind of higher tier armored vehicle. M20 definitely does not count. So let's be very, very clear about something there. Okay, I was wondering where that shot was going. I heard the shot go up and then whistle, and I wasn't sure where. And this green earth, it was really headed. 50 cal in the meantime does have this garrison under, not effective fire, but at least potential fire. So ISG just continues to rotate consistently back and forth. It does very well there. Now the question is, will we see a Faust into the rear of this M10 and then a rotation by the Rakettenwerfer? Well, looks like the Americans are going to go and try to just play Hungry, Hungry Hippo. Of course, they don't eat, they just kind of squash things. So, yep. Maybe they're making pancakes. Let's put it that way. They're making pancakes. Alright, in the meantime, we'll see Obersoldaten come on out for the Germans. And they kind of need that to increase their firepower. Thank you very much for that LMG-42. Someone just died. No, okay, no, the M20 just got back into the field. Confused for a moment there. Now, Germans do have an MG-34, but it's based in the wrong direction. Again, I would think if you want something really well done, put something right here, dude. You gotta be really pushing back this consistent pressure right along the midline. That's Blob City as well. We get, what, 3, 4, 5 American line infantry squads. In fact, all of the infantry is right here. If the MG-34 was here, even remotely, he could suppress absolutely everything and butcher absolutely everything, but he's not going to. Instead, they lose this position yet again. Strategic point comes under attack, and they're forced to fall back. On the plus side, one M20, the M20 has been hit by one Faust, but not by a second one, and it just kind of backs away. Dear mother of pearl. Alrighty. Obersoldaten are now on the line, and see that there's been a munitions investment, but I don't know for what. Was that another STG, perhaps? Could not say for sure, but the field is looking awfully red. Not sure that I like that very much. And again, why are you keeping this up here? You know that it's out of position. Oy vey. The Americans keep pushing on the center line right here, using this road and this approach over here, and the Germans aren't doing a whole lot about it. That's really bothering me a little bit, if you couldn't tell. Add in the fact that the Americans are swimming in support weapons between BARs and Zooks, and even one hazard removal kit, and the Germans seem to be outclassed until they can get some real kind of fighting vehicle out. But, you know, you know what I always say, I'm not the, guy playing the game, so I guess I won't be complaining too much. That's not true, I'll complain as much as I want to, but I should complain less, let's put it that way. I don't know if that Faust fizzled or what happened there, but the M10 wasn't even hit by it. Maybe the animation cancel happened before that round got off. I wonder, though, if that impacted the German resource situation or what. This squad right here, I'm going to take a quick gander. Okay, so he never even fired it. Okay, so animation cancel before it happened. This ISG has been doing some decent work. Only 3 kills, but he's been placed in excellent, excellent positions. It seems the Obersoldaten had used their bundle grenade. Unfortunately, wasn't getting a lot done with it. And now a pack Howie's coming out for the Americans. So getting very well rounded in terms of his army right now. 287 or 374. Sky is up just a teensy little bit here. If only 100 tickets could be said to be a teensy little bit. Where are rounds coming in? Okay, so ISG putting rounds into the M20. And the little armored skirts on it, it's a little bit better, but still one good hit or two from that Raketten could be enough to take it out. Just a question of it actually happening. One good thing, though, is I am seeing that there's a lot of really good resource utilization, except for, I say, Luciano's fuel. He occasionally has a problem with that. But I am pleased to see, first of all, that this is an opportunity for an incendiary grenade. So that's an opportunity for an incendiary grenade. Okay, maybe not. Not going to throw it. As his Volksgrenadiers get butchered. There we go. Finally, he's going to take it out. No, he's not. Oh, never mind. There he goes. He take it out. Okay, so if he grabs that machine gun, he could really, really cause some issues now for the Americans. That'd be kind of nice to see for a change. Meanwhile, Sturmpio's playing, you know, don't get squashed. Germans don't take that spot. Instead, and Sturmpio is going to go down on retreat. So unfortunate there. P4 coming on in for the Germans at long last, giving him a real good chance to match up well against this M10, although another M10 will come in very, very quickly after that. Now, one thing I didn't like very much about the fact about the Obersoldaten is that the Obersoldaten don't have any sort of AT. And he's now wasted the opportunity to pick up this 50 cal, and with this giant mass of American infantry, he's not going to be able to do it either. And now he just... what the heck? He canceled the P4. Boo-boo. What are you doing to me? Oh my gosh, he's going to wait for that Panther. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Why are you doing that? It's enough to make you weep. Or is he going for the Sturmtiger? That'd be kind of fun. Maybe the Sturmtiger is his play. Is it 560? What, 200-ish? He could tech into that super quick. Oh, no, never mind. Here goes a Panther. Okay, so he's going for the Panther now. With a 105mm Sherman and rifle grenades and Zooks and his M10 and mines. I mean, there's not many mines have been placed out in the field already, but still mines. Things are not going to be hunky-dory for the Germans for a bit. And have that pack howitzer and that stupid Sherman. Marsha. Oh well. Told you guys I would complain if I felt it necessary. I definitely feel it necessary. I will say, it does bother me slightly that the 105 Sherman is probably one of the most inconsistent line-of-sight artillery pieces in the game. You could fire one shot and it won't do diddly squat. The next shot could wipe out an entire squad with just one round. Oh, a beautiful hit on top of that howitzer crew. Watch the next one hit like right behind it. Nope, okay. Say, watch the next one hit right behind. That would have been perfect to take out the entire squad. Did not happen though. Now Luciano in the meantime has now been utilizing his resources, and that's what I was going to say a long time before, is that I do appreciate both players for the most part being very intentional about using the resources. They're not floating a ton, they're getting some fuel back in for themselves, but it's not an incredible amount. This M10 doing crop circles over here as this M20 finds itself taking rounds from the Panther. I will see in the meantime as well that a Zook is coming on back over here by the captain, trying to go and frustrate the Panther a little bit more, and will do so, and will definitely frustrate me. As the lieutenant plays Chase the Volksgrenadier, as another squad of Volksgrenadiers gets carved, well, as the Volksgrenadier squad gets carved to pieces by these riflemen. It's time to run. Let it go, Indy. Let it go. I'm not sure. Are both guys shooting at this thing for some reason? Not sure. I could not say for sure on that one. No strong pioneers on the field, though, means that it's very difficult for this Panther to get any kind of sustained presence in this space. That's a little bit unfortunate right there, because the Americans again have a triple cap, 251 to 349. M20 runs on around because he has nothing to fear. I say that as the Schwerer Panzer headquarters opens up on him. Still, not particularly enthusiastic about the German chances at this time. At least on the plus side, he's got munitions point under his control, but his own guys are getting suppressed and pinned like crazy. He can't move his Panther forward because of this M10, and now there's a second M10 on the field, so this Panther's completely outgunned. Not like moderately outgunned, I mean completely, oh my god, WTF outgunned. 105 Sherman troops back to the front, believes that he can handle things by himself. Obersoldaten are going to get cut in half. Again, like I was saying, that thing is so inconsistent. It fires off one round and doesn't do anything. It fires off another round and half of Seattle gets wiped off the map. Let's hopefully pray it's the part of Seattle that, you know, Macklemore's from. Kettenbrook, in the meantime, though, doing some good damage against this 105 Sherman as the M10 starts moonwalking across the field. This is screaming, shoot me now. This Panther's a great opportunity to just take out this ridiculous utility car. There we go. Now we have a vehicle crew without a vehicle. So now we just call them the crew. And if they're from different areas around the U.S., know what we would call them? The Motley Crew. We might see this Panther go down, though, which is going to be quite a bit of a depressing thing. One more shot. Yep, there he goes. There he goes. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you your OKW. Frankly, it wasn't the fault of the Americans playing a fantastic game so far. So far, it's been really that the Germans have kind of shot themselves in the foot. Now, it would be kind of fun for me to see... Okay, yep, there he is. Finally going for that Sturmtiger. Okay, 560, 160. There we go. So he's going to go for the Sturmtiger now. Next vehicle coming in, I'm calling it. Problem with that, though, is... Well, there's an awful lot of anti-tank. Maybe not that, per se, but that... I mean, you know, a king without a crown, a crew without a vehicle. It's going to be hard all around. ISG's got 2 stars of veterancy. Its counterpart over here on the Americans has 2 stars as well, and will continue to do some really great damage if they're given the chance. Now, these Volksgrenadiers have full veterancy, but they are not going to be able to stand up to firepower of this magnitude. They should be backing off now. They're pinned, and he just lost, you know, 60 manpower worth of troops for absolutely no reason. It's a little bit unfortunate there. What's almost as bad is to see these Sturm Pioneers getting drubbed by BARs and M1 Garands. Not that it's unexpected, but still a little bit depressing. Speaking of veterancy overall, though, the Germans do have themselves a fairly good roster of infantry. Yes, the Sturm Pioneers are not the most elite as of right now, having lost a couple of their squads as the game has progressed. And the Americans themselves are even better still. Lieutenant very battle-wise and battle-hardened. Got a nice core of infantry, and these guys are going to get savaged. Charging on in. This 105 Sherman's not going to get a lot of damage done to it. He's getting tickled right now, that's it. Now, where is the Rakettenwerfer? He's slowly making his way back to the west. My friend, all's quiet on the eastern front. You might as well get over to the west. Sturm Pioneers and Volksgrenadiers coming in and around, trying to put some pressure on these riflemen, and dodging the rounds that keep getting thrown their direction by the irate Sherman. Doesn't seem to be wherever they go, though. That Sherman wants to play tag with them, or dodgeball. I'm not entirely sure which one they're playing, but it ain't pretty, I can tell you that much. But what do we have for this game state so far, though? 28 minutes and 15 seconds in, these Volksgrenadiers again and again are getting pinned down by this 50 cal. And getting harassed like crazy by this 105 Sherman, who is now going to find out that this Rakettenwerfer is right in front of him. On the plus side, this thing is slowly getting taken out. Okay, well, he did take out the crew from this ISG. But he is discovering that Schwerpanzer headquarters is still a pretty good device, even though, well, the gun on it is a pretty good piece of equipment, even though he has not been damaged overly much. Sorry guys, didn't know where that sentence was going there. I had a different one in my mind before I kind of finished that thought. What we are looking at, though, we are seeing this M10 is coming on forward, trying to put rounds into the Schwerpanzer headquarters, and we're going to see a Death Star shot. Nope, never mind, there he goes. Oh, lucky right there. Well, we probably will see this 50 cal go down pretty darn quickly, and he's not backing up. Yep, guys, I suspect the first round of this fully armed and operational battle tank will be a rocket that, curiously enough, impacts just about the same time as an ISG round that might have done the same thing. In any case, it has allowed the Germans to successfully take the center VP for an instant or two, while Sky brings another 105 Sherman, so he's going all in on those vehicles, and that's not, not surprising, I don't think. What would be more surprising is that he's making the 105 Sherman as opposed to the M10s. I would think M10s against a Sturmtiga, as good as 105s are against infantry, you might as well focus on taking out the tank. But that's just me. But already, never mind, what had been a German position has now been very, very rapidly taken back by the Americans. Question is, how good can this whole thing get? Can we get a great shot of the Sturmtiga that can go and take out 2 of these vehicles or completely blow them away? I don't know. I don't know, but I do know is that the Black Knights will arise once again. And that the Shermans can be shot to pieces by this Rakettenwerfer. And that is now completely and totally done as a HE round comes on through and blows them important to pieces. Yowza. Well, there's an anti-tank as well? Wow, you don't see that many things actually getting used. So I've never successfully seen a heat barrage. We will also see that these 3 unfortunate Volksgrenadier squads, I'm sure, a very, very ill-fated attack. But basically all the fully vetted up squads of Germans are charging on forwards, and it's not going to be enough. Indeed, oh, but here we go. Sturmtiga is going to get a line on the side of the Sherman. I suspect this is a dead Sherman. Yep. Yep. Luciano, plain Death Star. He's the evil empire right now, folks. He's doing some good work. And that Howitzer taking some good damage as well. Don't know by what. I admit I missed that part of the engagement, but doing some good damage there. It does look like the Americans are terrified of that Sturmtiga, and why shouldn't they be? The machine's going to get set up right now. If he sets up right now, he has a prayer. A prayer of... Oh no, never mind. He's got a great prayer of this. 1 burst of fire should suppress them, and a second one should pin them, I would suspect. Dear God, though, why is he not firing? Okay, dear Lord, that took forever and a day. Kind of what I hate about the MG34 is that as good as it should be, it's just not. Germans are threatening a 2-to-1 cap, though. Finally, at long last, they might finally take back some tickets away from the Americans. They are down a good chunk already. That is a very good question. I'm not sure if you guys heard that very, very interesting question. What the hell are these guys supposed to do with these recruits? Well, we have them die, of course. Ooh, another heat barrage comes back through, though. We will see the final model pull back in fear. Abject terror at that. The question is, does Sturmtiga see his intended target? He does. But the Americans don't get the same opportunity. The captain, 4 of his men explode into smithereens. 7 kills go down. Well, in total, 4 now the Sturmtiga. But still, that allows the riflemen to come back in and troop and take over the territory that should have been OKW territory from very, very early on. Once again, guys, forgive me. Every now and again, I get one of those moments where I don't know where the story was going, that sentence is going before I finish it, and I just make a very, very, very bad one. Volksgrenadier is getting chased down, it looks like, by the 105 Sherman and the M10, but then that defending Rakettenwerfer terrifies both vehicles back into quiescence. 106 to 272. We're going to see a dead rifleman squad. Super close. That was so close, everybody. He might have been taken out at the last instant, but no, he manages to squeak an escape out. But now, no, if I am Sky, what do I do? I had such control over this game for a very, very long time. What do I do now? Well, first things first, I would say, is probably getting some more M10s up, because that Sturmtiga is really, really causing issues for me. My infantry is shattered in many different ways. I'm eager to do it again. He comes on up, and if he can get one shot either between these two, I don't know how well this is going to go, but this could be devastating. Well, there goes another rifleman squad. Thankfully, at least it was the very, very new one. Had minimal veterancy, had like maybe 1 star at the absolute most. Charging attack now from this infantry. They're on meing, it looks like. Yep, on me has just been popped. So breaks that suppression. So fantastic for them, but now it's a trip cap for the Germans, and that's not something I expected to see. Not at all, actually. And here we go, 240 howitzer barrage. Okie dokie. Could be interesting indeed. It's anyone's guess where the shots are going to go. First round impacting in the trees. Apparently he's not very much an environmentalist. You could see a shot landing over here, and that would be rather huge. Nope, heading back out into the field. Oh, an H and a heat barrage coming back out from the Americans, too. So the question is, can he successfully take out the Shredder Panzer headquarters? If he can, I mean, that would be quite the coup. As of right now, that's not happening. Germans just barely out of supply right now. You can see they have this whole kind of... I was like, what the heck? They have this whole kind of... how do I put this? Sistine Chapel idea, where we have two sets of territory kind of barely reaching out towards each other, but not quite connecting. And Sherman comes out right back in. Might be the death of another Sherman. Never mind. He breaks that whole range issue that the Sherman seems to have. Is that the Sherman really doesn't have any sort of close support weaponry. What we're seeing now is we're seeing M10s trying to bum rush the guy, and should have been doing that a long time ago, at least one of them. So say hello to a bunch of Fausts. 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And this Shredder Panzer headquarters should be able to take him out. Yep, there he goes. He's gone. Thank you very much for doing that. And the round for the Sturmtiger goes wide. MG-34 is safe, though, for the moment. And another M10's right back in here. So the question is... Yep, here come more rounds coming on down. Even if the Sturmtiger goes down, though, it can get picked back up any minute here. He now has no gun. That's gone. Out of control. So, again, guys, I don't know. The Sky had control over this for such a long period of time, and then he started dripping tanks in one after the other. And because of that, we're going to see him pay the ultimate blood price. Of course, German infantry just gets devastated by a Sherman, so as good as it was a second ago, it's getting rather poor yet again. M10 is looking for that final kill shot. And frankly, these Volkswagen should be hopping onto this bad boy. Never mind, there it goes. He's gone. So minor problem for the Germans, but that Sturmtiger by itself has just devastated the American ranks.
M10 tank destroyer.
And here comes another M10. So what's it, the 5th and 6th one? The 4th or 5th one? I didn't even know there was a landmine there. They got placed a long time ago, I guess. Shoe mine went down, and that is the price you pay for your hubris. Ooh, I didn't even realize also. No, don't make a Panther. Ay. He's in love with that Panther. Sturm Pioneers, though, have themselves a BAR, so what was an excellent opportunity for the American infantry fight should now shift, if ever so slightly, into the German control between STGs, LMGs, and now the BAR. You see that value difference asserting itself right here, right now. Of course, with the 105 Sherman, that's going to kind of skew things quite significantly, so never mind what I just said. Those Sturm Pioneers are getting devastated. But the Rakettenwerfer is still here, and those smoke rounds are going out like crazy. Maybe Luciano's making the right choice, though. He's got that Panther coming out any second. And by the time he gets the manpower for it, even after reinforcing his squads, he should be able to bring in a Sturmtiger as well. The question is, will he still have the tickets? Right now, it is 99 to 124, going on 40 minutes into this game. And Luciano's been running a little bit dry. Now this vehicle crew has been hopping around. These guys have been out and about ever since that M20 got killed about 15-20 minutes ago. Well, at least the husk of it got killed. While the crew lives, the husk can never die, right? M10s, in the meantime, looking for not being able to do anything about the Obersoldaten. This Panther really should be watching out a lot more circumspectly. He only has Two, count them, two Sherman Pioneers. And his opponent still has a significant infantry force on the field, albeit heavily de-veteranized. Considering half of that pretty much is vehicle crews running around in every direction. Also kind of interesting is that these guys haven't been upgraded with their Thompsons at all. Ooh, okay, Panther knows that there's now a... Okay, yeah, that's ridiculous. That's beyond retarded. That entire Obosoldaten squad went down in one fell swoop. That's retarded. I hate the crush on American tanks. The German tanks, you can't run over anything. But the American tanks, dear God. Oh, yeah. In any case, 63 to 120. Americans do have a slight advantage right now in control, but the Germans are pushing that back heavily. Panther's come forward. He's taking rounds to the M10. He's throwing rounds back the other direction. That guy got hit one time. Only one-star veterancy on him anyway. And you have to watch out because he's got the HVAP shells. That can hurt quite a bit. It's quite a sting. For sliding on forwards. It's the one that's been decrewed and recrewed so many times. I doubt these guys even know whose blood is on the gun barrel. Lining up onto the side of the Sherman might be just enough time to take him out or push him back at the absolute minimum. Go push him down to about 50% health. And both players are reaching for every conceivable weapon they have at their disposal. Back down to the south, we'll see that this vehicle crew is holding strong against a potential incendiary grenade. And, okay, I was going to say, watch it happen again. Watch him run over all three in one simple movement. Oh, you got it. ISG putting down some rounds, 42 minutes in, 5-6 to 1-1-9. And will Skype call in a one final M10? No. Instead, he's going to reinforce his troops. That might be a better option. Couldn't say for sure right now, but maybe that's a better option. Also, guys, it's also realized that Luciano's got the heat ammo himself. Not that he's got to worry too much about it, considering the fact that American tanks that exist on the battle space, the 105 Sherman and the M10, are not going to hold up against the 88mm cannon on this Panther.
The enemy is overrunning one of our capture points.
But we just continue to see the same thing over and over again. Forget tries to sneak in, take back this point, and now this captain's going to come on in and really stick it to him. But it's not going to stand. No, sir. I would have liked to see another Sturmtiger. I thought the Sturmtiger was doing a lot more work for him than this Panther has done. But obviously I'm biased. 35 kills in that the Volksgrenadier squad. So one shot here or there could change everything. Of course, taking this position here with an anti-tank grenade could also change a whole lot, but we'll see. We will see. Sherman Pioneer's putting down some mines and get blown away in a second if they're not careful. They gotta back up right now. The 50 cal has not done a whole lot in the last forever and a day, but it looks like he's doing something now. Point capture, 2-1 cap in favor of the Americans, still 28 to 129. To 119. The Germans are threatening to pull this back in, but every single time they threaten to do so, it seems like things just don't go their way. Sturmtiger. There we go. Kettenwerfer not quite able to close out against that 105 Sherman. But this Panther is just close enough that he can apparently see, if ever so slightly, his opponent's armored material. So the Panther creeps on forward with a kind of inexorable approach that is only matched by headsmen and bad guys and westerns alike. Sturmtiger has a rocket up in the tube, and here it goes, guys. Skadoosh. Nope, never mind. Never mind, it backs away in time. M10's coming up, though. That might be a dead M10. No. Instead, everyone's focusing on this Panther. I'm not sure that's really the best option here. I know the Germans are down to 15 tickets, and you're throwing all your armor that you have in a mad pell-mell rush. That's one. There's two. And a Faust could seal the deal on this last one. Never mind, not even necessary. Out of control. You saw how that poor radio contact was just completely and totally cut off. Germans now have a 2-to-1 cap, 15-1-1-6. And if I am the Americans, I am reeling. For one, I could have been pushing everything at the same time instead, again, of feeding it in drips and drabs. Kind of like the British during the North Africa campaign for like 41-42. Yes, I threw some history in there, guys. This is not just a game. You get to learn at the same time. Captain getting forced back in the north. Americans threatening to push back in the center. And because I have that constant push, this 50 cal is going to create a curtain of fire under which the Americans keep pushing forwards. But if he gets unlucky and loses it, gets decrewed or something, or the Sturmtiger gets a great rocket, it could mean abject death for the U.S. position. Panther's coming back to the fore, though, and that means that this machine gun's got to back up now. And indeed, you do see that happen. The Americans pull back in the face of that giant metal monster. Another one falls down in the south, so now the Germans threaten to get a triple cap for themselves. And wouldn't that be kind of the turnaround? Suppression happens. Yes, these guys are coming under fire from heat rounds. I was going to say HEAT rounds. But heat rounds galore. But now the Sturmtiger comes on in. The Germans have a triple cap. And this captain squad really should back up before he gets roasted and toasted. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Barrel rises up. Not going to be able to do it, though. Round goes out, doesn't do anything. Other than encouraging the Americans to be someplace else. Down in the south, vehicle crew of this last surviving 105 Sherman, the only remnant of the entire U.S. Armored Corps, remains. They're the only ones that are able to do anything to capture any of these positions. To the north, we will see Rifleman Squad as well as the 50 cal. But in the center continues to hold strong for the Germans. And as squad after squad begins to evaporate under intense interpersonal fire, the Germans should be able to close this one out. Again, should be able to. Will they? Time will tell.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
We already had the whole guy come outside the tank? No, we did not. I guess we already had that a long time ago. Eh. Panther jumping on in, though, onto this 105 Sherman, and it looks like as long as he can just cause enough damage, which, mark my words, will happen. Never mind, there goes there goes that last Volkswagen idea. Panther seems a little bit confused for a second. Put the last round into the tank, my friend. Alright, but 50 cal's got things locked down here. 7 tickets left to 62. Will Luciano die after having an almost comeback? I don't know, but it looks like that might be the case. 50 cal goes down. Beautiful, beautiful strike right there. 4 tickets left. 3 tickets left. It's going to be all over but the shouting, folks. Germans fall in a 48-minute and 49, what, like 50-second maybe? Thriller of a Manila. Sky taking him out. Final score 62-0 by winner by way of knockout. The Americans having a still surprisingly vetted up group of surviving infantry and supporting material. However, I kind of feel like the Americans could have closed out a heck of a lot sooner and just kind of unfortunately did not do that due to some rather poor strategic and tactical decisions. Regardless, whether or not you guys hate the Sturmtiger or not, that's what kept Luciano in this game. And I wish he had brought one of those in earlier as opposed to that very ill-timed, I would argue. I think it was a Panther early on. It was a P4. I can't remember off the top of my head. In any case, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you all next time. This is Colin O'Rourke signing off. Take it easy.